Mr. Chin, you've flown all the way here from Seoul. Is ZUG how you pictured it, or Crypto Valley?
Oh, we had a very high expectation to learn from ZUG City because it's well known as a crypto valley in the world and most advanced in terms of regulations or the promotions of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. I learned the hidden stories of this crypto valley, how it was born here, and I was really impressed by such stories.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later, how you've uncovered Crypto Valley. But speaking of you yourself, you are the former CEO of Samsung Electronics.
Yes, I was.
That's a big claim and that's a big title. And then you've also been a minister in Korea. Now, how did blockchain come to be part of your CV? You're the first president of the Korean Blockchain Association.
Yep, that's actually an interesting story. And people were sort of surprised that some public figure took over such a controversial job, right? But as you know, that the blockchain was introduced 10 years ago, and then there was a lot of changes and progresses in such technology. And for instance, last year it was about $1,000 for the one piece of Bitcoin, and it is rise up to it's $20,000 a piece. So everybody surprised in Korea, and particularly government officers had a very big suspicion that there is speculation behind it or some sort of Ponzi scams around it. So they were...
It's too good to be true.
So true. So that's why a lot of controversial things around the blockchains and cryptos, and so a group of people came to me and suggested me to take such a role.
Why did they think you would be a good fit?
Because as you mentioned, that I was the CEO of Samsung Electronics and also took care of the Korean ICT industry. And when I was in the government, the Korean ICT was #1 in the world. So people have some sort of trust on me, so they use me to sort of soft the land of this crypto stuff, because it's a lot of fluctuations in price, and so government was worrying that some investors may get big loss later on.
And they wanted someone with a good tech background
something reliable.
Something reliable.
And technology, knowing about technology too. Yeah.
Well, you know a lot about technology, but when you first heard about blockchain, how did someone describe it to you? Did you have to sit there and think, gosh, I need to Google this, or I don't really understand how this technology works?
Actually, I had some skepticism on the blockchains and cryptos, because it seems like there's big bubbles in it, right? The price is fluctuating, price goes up
and the
so much.
volatility.
Obviously, there's the bubbles in it, and but still there is some futuristic perspectives within the blockchain technology that can be used for logistics, or they can be used for finance areas, and it's very useful technology. So I made a decision. Okay, I will take the position of Korean Blockchain Association as a chairman.
Do you have a lot of crypto assets under your belt as well? You yourself?
Myself?
Yes.
No, not at all.
So how can you, on the one hand, promote it within your country, but then not have anything in your wallet? Do people think you're a hypocrite then?
Actually, when I had my inauguration as a chairman of KBCA, I pledged that I'm not going to have my own interest on this controversial cryptos. I'm not going to buy or sell those, but I'd rather be neutral so that people don't have any suspicions or doubts. When I took over the job, people thought that because I took over the job, there is a great hope for the blockchains like that. And so it's not the case. There's a lot of limitations in blockchain itself, and there are a lot of speculative bubbles in the blockchain.
I also feel that you don't want to take too many risks. You mentioned volatility and the fluctuating price quite a few times already.
Already, yes.
Yes, so
I'm saying there.
You like to play safe.
Not a play safe. That's the nature of the market, right? If the price is so fluctuating like that, that's no good. Any investors or any buyers of tokens like it. So it gotta be stably going on. And once you have your own company business, you once get a huge profit and next year huge loss. That's no good. So it better be a steady and sustainable business. So is the blockchains and cryptos. Should be steady and growing. That's better.
Well, one can only hope for that, okay?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, who knows?
Who knows?
Do you find it interesting or funny that we're actually having this conversation in Zug, in Switzerland? Because Zug, to be honest, is just like a lakeside town. You can come here for a holiday.
That's right,
It's nothing like Korea.
That's right.
Why are you all the way here?
Oh, because it is known that the ZUG has a very good policy, a working relationship with the entrepreneurs and the local government to help all the industry grow. Particularly, the ecosystem is well built here around the blockchains. And also today, something that I learned, something that I didn't know before is that the residents here, only 124,000 people here, and they got together and tried to promote the blockchains voluntarily. There were a few leaders to gear it up at the beginning, but there was nothing here 5 years ago.
Are you surprised? Are you saying that this is something that you wish you could see in Korea as well?
Oh, absolutely,
this enthusiasm
absolutely.
from the citizens.
That's right. Yeah. In the Korean, the government people try to do something from top to bottom, but it turned out that here in ZUG, the bottomed up. Some entrepreneur leaders in the ZUG city try to make some sort of sustainable futuristic business or industry in ZUG, because this tourism only is not so good, right? So they try to build some sort of R&D high tech, and they chose blockchain as the future business for the ZUG.
But how can you actually take the lessons that you've learned in ZUG and apply them to Korea? Because it's a different landscape. Korea is so much bigger. We're really just talking about a small town.
Yeah.
So what do you want to take from ZUG back to all of South Korea, I guess?
Oh, well, in Korea, there's some enthusiastic local government, such as JEJU Island. It's further south. It's about 500,000 population there, and the governor of that island wants to promote blockchain and cryptos. That's good. I mean, he will be here soon, and he tried to learn more about it, and well, that's good. That's not the central government activity, but
the more local government level in Korea can learn from what ZUG is doing.
Maybe so, yeah. Even within the Jeju Island, Jeju Island is a tourist island. It's a beautiful place, oceans and mountains and everything there. And well, particularly in area, not all the islands are big. And some particular areas can be a ZUG like a town, and it can be done.
And on the other side of the coin, what can Switzerland be learning from South Korea? What advice have you given to industry figures here in the blockchain space?
Switzerland is more than $70,000 GDP per capita, and I don't know what you can learn from the Korea, but Korea.
But you're representing Korea. You should be promoting it.
Actually, Korea is a good and testbed market. It has been known as one of the best testbed market in IT area.
A test market?
Test market.
Test market.
Like 15 years ago, when digital gadget were introduced in the world, and a lot of companies came to Korea to test them out, test in the market, so that how people responded to that and what kind of bugs or the defects in it, and they can be quickly found in Korea. That's so-called testable market, right? And that is also happening in the cryptos too, because there are all kind of different cryptos, right? It's like 1,800 different coins introduced, and many of them come to Korea and test them out, whether they like to see whether it can be successful or not. So it's because the population in Korea is 50 million, and there's so many young folks are buying and sell the cryptos. So they can analyze and they can figure out the business model.
In Korea, there's a lot of talk about when there's going to be some loosening on the ban on ICOs. And with this ban in place, some companies are turning to countries like Switzerland. Do you see the blockchain space in South Korea being impacted by this if the competition is being lost to other countries?
That's right. Yeah.
Doesn't that make your job hard then?
Yeah, that's why my blockchain association was founded to recommend or suggested government what to do about it. Particularly, there's no laws and acts in place in Korea for the blockchain or the cryptos. So before that, laws are fixed. The KBCA, my association, was to figure out what should be done to help the whole industry, particularly ecosystem-wise. So there are two organizations within my association. One is Self-Regulation Committee. The other is Blockchain.
And what are the specific strategies that you have in place to help this?
Particularly, now the speculation side is almost gone. The volume of the trading volume is about 1/10 of the peak days last year. So the speculation is not much there, but still there's some Ponzi scams around. So that kind of thing is like an ICO. A particular coin is good or bad. That should be reviewed, audited by somehow, right? There's no system in Korea, so we are strongly recommending that we have some sort of reviewing committee before the listing the coins. That's one thing. And the other one is Korean government is not really banning the ICO yet. It's not by law, but they don't recommend it.
Yeah, exactly.
So people are afraid
well,
of,
if they
right?
don't recommend
right.
it, people
But
take a step back.
That's right.
They're not going to jump onto it.
That's right. So that's why the Korean entrepreneurs come out to Swiss for the ICOs. But someday the government will loosen their positions.
Someday is quite vague. Can we say September this year?
Yeah, they have there is some saying that they may show their own guidelines sometime in September this year.
Going back to Korea,
okay.
How do you want to leave your mark as president of the Korean Blockchain Association? What do you want to have achieved?
Actually, we tried to learn quite a lot from what happened in the ZUG, and we can suggest that the government that, look, it's not that risky or not that harmful to any investors.
Look
like
at what
that.
tiny ZUG is doing.
That's right, yeah. So we learn from that, and maybe perhaps it may take a time, but let's do it step by step, little by little, not whole thing altogether. But I think the Korean government people are actually they're afraid of this, because if something happened bad, right, then they be blamed later. That's why they are hesitating there. But by looking real thing happening as good stuff here, right? They may open their mind and try to do something.
The key lesson I'm learning here is take risks and learn from ZUG.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chin.
Yeah. Thank you.